Right, we'll just pick up the reason from where we leave it last time, yeah? Like, just a freestyle reasoning. So, I was explaining to people that what they want to do really is get in touch with the master death. Yeah? And then the master death will explain to you that as far as the material world is concerned, when he actually come for you, you won't be able to take anything from the material world. You know what I mean? So, just like I was explaining in the reasoning that all the diamonds, all the gold, yeah, all the whatever fantastic jewelry you can think about that was deposited in the earth at the beginning of time is still right here, because it cannot, no one can take it anywhere. You know what I mean? Yet all these people are storing up all these wealth, you know, on the planet. You know, it would be better if you understand our old saying, why gain the world and lose your soul? You understand what I mean? Because to repeat again, you have got the black box in you recording all your deeds, what you're doing while you're living on this planet. You know what I mean? To understand all these things, I'm going to repeat the story again about innocency. You understand what I mean? Because it's easier to grasp things when you are innocent. You know, like more, I would call the innocent state like a babyish kind of state, you know? Most adults will not remember this state, but most adults have children. So you can observe the behavior of innocency in a baby. You know what I mean? You can see that it have no interest in diamond, gold, and all those things, or even in hate and greed and lust and, you know, all those kind of things. Now, this state, like I tell people before, is recorded on all our black box, as it was. And it's also a state that can be recovered if one work in the correct way to recover such innocency. Now, it's quite simple to actually recover your innocency. You just have to discipline the self. You have to look at yourself honestly and truthfully. You know what I mean? And for your own self, decide that if the person that you are, if that is the person that you really should be, or you're not just playing out an egoistic personality. You know what I mean? Because a true and innocent human being wouldn't be hating another human being. You know what I mean? Couldn't be greedy towards another human being. So if these characteristics are in your mentality, or like I would put it, in your garden, you know, in the mind, these are the things that need to be removed from the mind, because these are the things that are obstructing your vision. You know what I mean? But just to speed up the story then, if you have an individual who managed to clean up the mind, then this individual would return literally to childhood and recover an innocent state of mind. And from this state of mind, now will be able to see everything in perfect innocency then, as a child. You know, like how a baby would, but now you have an adult. You've grown up with a baby mind. So now you are able to observe everything from an innocent point of view, where you don't hate anyone and you're not jealous of anything, you're not greedy for anything, and, you know, and everything is just nice. You know what I mean? It's like returning home. You know what I mean? It's like, how to see it? From this state you will be able to observe, like some spiritual beings reason to themselves that the material world is an evil place then, or material things are bad things. But to a 9th grade Rasta then, you know, the material world is perfect. You know what I mean? And material things are lovely things. We should have the best of material things. You know what I mean? Because after all, it was Jah himself that created the material world, or what you deem to be the material world. And everything in God's creation is good. So I don't see the material world as a bad place. In fact, I love the material world and all the things that are in the material world. The only problem, if I was honest and truthful, that I find within the material world, is my fellow brothers who has made the wrong choice. You know what I mean? Because in this life, one has been given a choice. Go this way or that way. And some of the brothers choose to go that way. Now, anyone who chooses to go that way, and that way, I mean the wrong way, do so because of selfish reason. It's never because they want to be honest and truthful and loving and share. You know what I mean? It's always because of personal greed and selfishness. You understand? Because think about it this way. This is the way I like to think about it. We hear such thing as God, yeah? God is around. So why don't people know God then? Is it because God is hiding? And if God is hiding, where is God hiding? You know what I mean? But I find that God is not hiding. God is right here. But why don't people see God? Ask yourself, if God is here, God is in His creation, yeah? But people don't know God. People are believing in this God. Some people say God is up in the heavens, and some people say this God don't exist. Whatever, yeah? So why don't people know God then? Or why don't people see this God? The reason why people don't see God, because God is everywhere around. God is in man. Imagine God is in man and woman and they don't know this. Why don't they know this? That is the question we have to ask. Could it be because of the way you are behaving? Have you ever thought to yourself that, you know something, maybe the reason why I don't know God is because I am a selfish person, you know what I mean? And that is the reason why. But trust me, any human being that does not know God, it is because of your behavior. You have to delve deep in your soul and be honest and truthful to yourself if you want to know God. You know what I mean? If you do that, change, you know what I mean? Be honest, be truthful, then you will know God, because trust me, God ain't hiding, you know what I mean? The Muslim like to say God is closer to you than your beard. And that is correct, you know, even closer than that. So if God is that close, imagine somebody make a statement like that God is closer to you than your beard. Yeah? And yet, this same individual now would spend his time in a book looking for God. Why don't you look for the God that is closer to you than your beard? You see what I mean? That is where God is, right within man. Like, you know, people get terrified when they hear the word God, because they always think of some man sitting up in heaven, you know, like our king. How kings sit on earth in the throne. And they got the courtier around them and those who attend to them, you know, making a fuss around them. So these men, when they hear the word God, they must imagine that this God is up in heaven with all his angels sitting around him and him son on this side, and you know what I mean? Well, don't forget that God is a word that we use to describe something. So it would be best if you just understand that God is an energy. An energy that is everywhere. Now, where human beings are concerned, we call this energy conscience. Or the light within, or, you know, the secret dweller. Or, in my case, I just say it's Rastafari. But that is what God is. You see what I mean? So, when you go in a shop as an example and you see things, or you go anywhere and something say to you, why don't you steal that book or whatever it is? And then another thought say to you, don't steal, it is not yours. That is God talking to you. You understand? If you don't want to listen to what is right and correct, you can perfectly do so, because it is within your right, because you have the freedom to choose and decide. So even though conscience is there to advise you, you can ignore conscience. But if you ignore conscience, it would literally mean that someone is teaching you to drive, cook, or do whatever, build a house. But you say that when they tell you to do this, you say that you're not going to do it. So how are you going to learn if you cannot follow instruction? You understand? So no one is going to learn anything from conscience if they are not willing to listen. They should follow. The Muslim have a way of putting it. They don't follow it, but it is correct. You should, a true Muslim is when you surrender your will to Allah. The Rasta man would put it and say, alright, a true human being is one who surrenders his will to his conscience. Simply because conscience is a superior intelligence to the human being, if you know what I mean. So yeah, human being can be intelligent, but they have to be taught by conscience. You know what I mean? If they are not taught by conscience, you have them behaving like how you see them behaving on the earth here now. Because they've been taught by negativity. Because conscience is not the only teacher, No, the great master negativity is also a supreme master. A master that has been around from time immemorial as well. And he's a teacher as well. So, if you choose then that, okay, let's put a scenario to you then. If you will not listen to what conscience say, don't steal. That means you're going to listen to the opposite, which is negativity. Now, negativity have no choice but to teach you what you want to learn. Because this is your desire. So if you desire to be a negative man, a little evil man, negativity will teach you. Because negativity is a teacher. It doesn't desire to teach you, but it is your desire. You understand? So what they would call Satan then would have no choice but to educate you in the art of evil doing. you desire to learn evil. So whatever your desire, like I said before on previous reasoning, the earth is a place of desire where we as beings can fulfill our desire. So we are here on earth as farmers then, and we are sowing our desire into the fertile ground then. Well, because it's a spiritual movement, we say you are sowing your desire in the fertile ground of the mind. Because this is where they will eventually grow, what you're sowing. So here, you can sow anything you want to sow. You know what I mean? If you want to believe to yourself that, okay, there is a Satan and he's battling with God and he's looking for souls to bring down to hell, you can believe that if you want. You know what I mean? But because I am a 9th grade soldier and I know both of these forces, you know what I mean? What we would call the devil and God. I know for myself that the devil ain't looking for no souls. The devil is not interested in man escapade, you know what I mean? The only thing the devil is not interested in, the devil is just temptation, just like how the sun shines. He's not really doing it with an intention or an interest. You understand? These things, if people take interest in negativity, that is their own desire, own wishes. It's not that the devil is recruiting anybody and trying to prove to God that, he's got more souls than God as it was. The devil is not interested in human being soul. And if you really want to know, neither is God. Your business is your business. Your soul is no one is interested in human being souls, neither God nor the devil. That is why the freedom of choice has been given to you personally. God cannot force you to do anything against your own will. The devil cannot force you to do anything against your own will. You are a completely free. Imagine that how great God is that He should give you the freedom instead of just create you like a bird, just to have your eggs and fly about and then just go on, without being you just functioning like a fish. But no, human beings are not fishes then. This is not to say that animal hasn't got intelligence, They obviously have intelligence. But there is degrees and level of intelligence. We are not talking just about human intelligence. Yeah? So human has been given a freedom then as it was to have supreme intelligence or supreme idiocy, if you know what I mean. So the choice is you. It's like a thing like when you study life now, you'll think to yourself, here you have a rich man and you have a poor man. You have rich people and you have poor people. Now, who is the test easiest for? The rich man or the poor man? When we really examine the matter, we find out that truthfully, it is very difficult for a rich man to be rich with papers. That's why papers, repeat again. I always call money paper. Paper and metal. It is very difficult for people to have paper and metal and yet remain truthful. You understand? And share this metal and paper with others without feeling that, yeah, I've got paper so I am better than, you know what I mean? Because paper, money have a way of corrupting the soul to make it feel that it is superior, because now it's got all the comfort around it. Private jet or car, you can get anything you want due to money. So that can, what I would call, puff up the soul. See what I mean? And blind it quite easily. So it's very few beings who has ever come on this planet and rich paper-wise and yet still maintain a dignify, you know what I mean, and do what they were supposed to do, what God give them the money to do. No, that is the rich man, so it's very difficult for him. Now the poor man, no, that is also a very, very difficult situation to rise from, because the poor man is burdened down by poorness. And from poorness, when he look and he see the rich man, he can easily lament the fact that he is poor and this man is rich. And how could God be fair if he let this man be rich? And so a lot of poor man can get bitter about the fact that they find themselves in a poor position and will do anything to get out of the poorness, if you know what I mean. So you find that richness and poorness is a test from Jah, and it's an equal test, but it's very difficult to see this one. That's why I'm advising people to return to innocency. In innocency, you see all manner of things that you wouldn't be able to see if the mind is not innocent. You know what I mean? But richness and poorness is just a test. You see? It's easy for a rich man then, like they would say, to enter the kingdom of God. No problem. All you have to do is to be an honest rich man, you know. You don't have to be, just because you have money, you don't have to be nasty, you know what I mean? You can still be loving, because money, why can't anyone have some paper and metal and still be a loving person? You know, what would be the difference? You know what I mean? But richness is a way that when you study, let's study two forms of richness. Richness of wisdom, richness of material things then. It's very difficult for the man who is materially rich then. It's not difficult, but they usually find it, they don't want to share their material wealth or share their money, because they think that it is them alone who work hard to accumulate all this amount of paper, so why should they share it? You know what I mean? This richness belongs to them. But richness, wisdom is also a richness, and it is very hard work to accumulate wisdom. You know what I mean? Just like how it's hard for this man here to spend many hours dedicating to make his money. Yeah? So because of all this now, like I say, he find it difficult to share because his excuse is that he alone work for it and blah blah blah. But here you have the man of wisdom now, working hard on his own, diligently, wickedly working. But if he acquire wisdom now, which is a richness, you will notice a difference now. That he is now willing to share it with all. His wisdom. You see what I mean? So you find one rich man who is reserved with what he is on. And he claimed that he alone put in all the work. No one helped the man of wisdom when he's searching his wisdom out. He has got to do that work himself, just like this other man. But the attitude is different. The man of wisdom now would like to give away all the wisdom and make sure everybody know where the wisdom is and how to find the wisdom. The man of material wealth want to guard his material. He won't even share the secret of how he achieved this success with his next door neighbor. You know what I mean? Because he wants to make sure that he has gathered around himself as much riches as he can. And that kind of richness is a more selfish richness, not a richness like innocent. That's why I say it is good that you should recover your innocence from childhood, because then it will teach you about the art of wisdom, and generosity, and all those things, just how to be, just how to live honest, you know what I mean? Instead of you then trying your best to get to heaven, and trying to get close to God, burning candle, going up mountain, whatever you think that you are doing to get close to God, there's a simpler way of doing all this, which is just to live honestly with your fellow human being. Because people don't understand one thing. Let us give you a 9th grade teaching here now. We are all God's children. Yeah? Now, if me and you, Marius, is at war, it is no use going and praying to God, which is our Father then. You know what I mean? Because He will not pay any attention to us until we settle the matter between ourselves. You understand? So, what I'm saying to the human beings who are on the planet, those who hate one another and is warring and killing one another, I don't know which God you are praying to. It's not the God that I know, or the real God. Because for you to be in tune with God, you first have to forget about God. Let's put God out the equation. I know some people don't like that. But let's put God out the equation and just leave man alone. Yeah? So here we have man, just man on the planet. I'm saying to man now that before, part of the preparation of knowing God is us here on earth settling our differences, our hate and dislike of each other because of our different color and our different makeup and here and all, and accepting each other as one family here. Now, if we do that, now we can pray to God and God will listen. But when we are at war with our brother, in our heart and in our mind, don't think for 1 minute that God is listening to any prayer like that. You understand? Those prayers are falling on deaf ears. You see, because God will not be listening to no one who is not at peace with his brother. So, if a man, as an example then, if me as a black man then, or a spirit that is residing in the black farm, should decide that I don't like you, Marius, because you are in the white farm, then I can't pray to God. I will never know God. That is enough to stop me knowing God. Just by not recognizing you and your rights fully as a human being to be and to live and breathe and share equally with me, God will not pay any attention to me. I will not grow. My understanding will not grow anywhere while I'm retaining those kind of thoughts within my being. For me to progress, I have to remove it and recognize you fully as my brother, equally from the creative force. So if the human beings who are on the planet, like you have lots of scientists and these people, if they don't realize simple things like that, you know what I mean? But like I tell you before, you have intelligence and out-intelligent. That is how I put it. So lots of people are out-intelligent. If you get 100 scientists, I would probably say 99 of them is out-intelligent. But you could still have one scientist who is intelligent as well, who knows God and yet is a scientist. But these people are rare. You know what I mean? So what we really have now, we have people who are out-intelligent. That means they are intelligent about what is outside of themselves, about how far it is from here to Jamaica, and what's distance from the sun to the moon, and what make up the rocks, and they know things like that. And when they go to, when you notice these people, they study outside, so they go to some institution, college, university, and study about things, whatever things they have in these places teaching them, so they can become very out-intelligent. But when they are out-intelligent, they are thinking that this is intelligent, because that very same out-intelligence, they give people marks and say they have IQs. Some have 160 and 390, and they have big IQs for those who are out-intelligent. But intelligence, just like I've said it before, intelligence is when one knows and understands what's going on within the self. When you understand the higher self, you understand the difference between the spirit and the mind. You know, things like that. And then you understand the difference between right and wrong. That is how you become intelligent. Because you are now intelligent about what's going on in. You understand? Because intelligence is like we are in a world of in and out. You know? Night and day, positive and negative. So the word, everything have its opposite. So intelligence have a shadow as well, which is the outer, out-intelligent. Most of these I would like to report to you human beings, whichever you human beings that assess intelligence on the planet, you are not assessing intelligence. In fact, you have no idea what intelligence is. You are assessing out-intelligence, and this is what you call IQ. But like I tell you now, intelligence is, I don't call it IQ, I call it IS. Insights, which is far superior to IQ. You know what I mean? But because the people who have IQ, negativity might give them a lot of money to spit on about this idiotic intelligence that they think that they have, you know, because they go to these universities and wherever they go, they are easily caught by the system who pay them a lot of paper to go against what they really know within their own heart and mind and soul. So for the very fact that they want to live in a nice house on earth and all this thing, you know what I mean, they go to these places, brainwashing place. That is not to say, well, education is a brainwashing thing, you know. Everyone should be able to be educated, you know, and read. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying how under the present system, how these education places has become brainwashing factories. Luckily for me, like I keep saying, I never know, God bless the day that, I never started school at 7, and from 7 to 12 I was really there anyway, because I was a very rebellious youth, you know what I mean. If teacher do me the wrong thing, I wouldn't go to school for months, and then from 12 to 15 I never go to a school at all. Now when that happened to most people and they grow up, they usually say, oh, I wish I had gone to school. You know, not me. I wish I never set foot in the, no, well, I do like the fact that I can read a little bit. I wasn't there for long, you know, but I did learn, just manage to read and write, just to get me around. But that is enough. I am glad I wasn't there long enough for them to really corrupt the mind in their outward intelligence. You know what I mean? Because when that happened to someone, it's very hard to get out of it. That will come back to slavery. It's like... you will understand it like slavery operating two ways. You can capture people and put them in chains like they did to my ancestors. But after a while, the ancestor will, you can see the chains, so you can break them off or fight against them. But they have another way now, which is mental slavery. Yeah. Now, yes. You could say, alright then, let's say the white man put black man into slavery then and had him in chains. But right here in England, while slavery was going on, they had their fellow white man in slavery as well. You know what I mean? It wasn't the poor white people of England that put any black man into slavery. Because these people, where was they going to get money to send a ship to Africa to get anybody to buy? So it's quite easy to work out that, okay, then it was the elite of England. You know, Lord this and Baron here and Duke here. Those who could come up with the money then to send off a ship. Now, the poor people of England at that time, or even up to this day, don't own the land in England. It is these same rich people. And in them days, I don't even think that they had the vote or the right to vote. Even in this country, women couldn't vote until 1927. So you see, these people, they wasn't free either. No, they might have been walking about, but they was not free. And they was in slavery to the upper class. But not a physical slavery, a mental one. Because the upper class allowed them eventually to vote and, let them think that they have some right. But they've got no rights and they don't realize that they are slaves to the system. You see what I mean? Because they cannot see any change. And they imagine to themselves that, we are free because we can vote. You know what I mean? Voting is a thing that is actually taking away people's rights. It's not actually giving you no rights. You know what I mean? That is the system that they've set up on the earth. A system that denies people their rights. You think the system is there to grant you your rights. So you're voting and supporting the system. But it's not there to give you your rights. It's there to take away your right. Because it's not a godly system, is it? This is ungodly. You know what I mean? So how can you... It's like somebody going to court and they expect justice. That is not the court of justice. You know? That is the court of injustice. So, okay, somebody might go there and they might get a one justice, but it's still not the house of justice. You know what I mean? You cannot expect justice from an unjust system. You know what I mean? So it would be like me as a black man then, appealing to the system to give me my rights as a black man. Now, who would be mad? Would it be me or the system? I would say it would be me. Because why am I asking the next man for my rights? You know what I mean? I'm supposed to know my rights myself. I don't ask no man about my rights. Or going about the earth wondering if I'm equal because I'm a black man. Or if I'm inferior just because I'm a black man. No. I don't feel inferior to no being in the whole universe. Me a bad boy. Because I know my rights. I don't care what anybody else want to feel or think or even what they want to say. You see me? I just know that I am an equal man. No, I'm not just an equal man. I don't just call myself an equal man to the men that I see living around me now, you know. I am an equal man to any man who ever live. As long as he come out of his mother and walk on 2 feet like that. And just like I tell you, I don't look down on man and I don't look up. I look all man directly in the eye. That means whether the beings are living in this dimension or any dimension, because I don't bow. You know what I mean? As we talk about bow, you know, that kind of attitude, I think we should just kind of skim through the Jamaican attitude a bit. Because Jamaica, like I say, is a strange place. You know what I mean? The island of Jamaica is a strange place. Here you have a little island and it's not many people, but they produce Rasta, reggae music. You have man like Bob Marley, Marcus Garvey. And you have some of the fastest runners on the planet Earth. Yeah, well, right now Usain Bolt is the fastest, so you know that I'm not lying. So it's a kind of a strange place. From what I hear, which I don't know if it's true, but it must be something like that. I hear that say when the slave ship come over, and the Barbados was a breaking island. So if they could break you, they either keep you in Barbados or send you to America. If they can't break you, they send you to Jamaica. So it look like Jamaica now get to be populated by some real bad, that's what I would call it, some real bad African man them who don't bow. And who, in Jamaica I would say we don't take chat. I mean we don't take talk. You know, it's an attitude like if somebody say, go and move that pair of shoes, you would ask them, so what happened to you? Why don't you move it? Haven't you got any hands? You know, you would have to come up with a good explanation why you are going to tell a Jamaican, say, go and move the shoes. You know, if you're crippled, fair enough, but if you are not crippled, you know, we would want to know, well, why? You know what I mean? So you find that we have an attitude then that this attitude is that we don't bow. So I must have come to England with this kind of attitude. In fact, I remember one incident clearly when I was leaving Jamaica. I was only 15. I went to see 2 Rastaman who have a shop around in the area we was living, you know. Tell them that I was going to England. And one of them at the time went and get his Bible. And he come back around and he was reading something and he was crying. At the time I never put any significance on that. Because you know, you're 50, you're wild, you're not thinking anything in it. But having come and spent and been in England 40 years now, that incident, I have never forgotten that incident. Ever since I come to my understanding then. You know what I mean? Because to me now, it's as if the dread was saying, boy, you're going to England, you don't know where you're going down there, you're going to Babylon or you're going to Rome. You know what I mean? And they have a saying that when you go to Rome, you should do as the Romans do. Well, I don't have no intention of doing what the Romans are doing here in Rome. You understand? I have not come here, like I say, as an example, to lose my soul then. You know what I mean? I don't think I'd have done it in Jamaica or here, but I haven't come to earth to lose my soul. No. Many of the Jamaicans, I would say, not only Jamaicans, but all people from all over the earth who come to England. Let's say England is a place that's full of electric light and it's light up all over the place. But if you spend your time staring into light, you will get dazzled. When you are dazzled, you won't be able to see where you are going. That means that when they come here, they see excess material things. Gold and all kind of material thing and women and all these things. So they quickly dive into these things. You know, and imagine that to acquire these things is to reach or to make yourself better in life. Not understanding that this desire and this greed to have this thing and to be better than neighbor is the very thing that is blinding the soul, and it is the very thing that is going to keep you in ignorance and make you lose your soul. You know what I mean? So for you to say come to England then, for a Jamaican to come to England, yeah, and keep his own soul, he's got to be a bad soldier. You know what I mean? You're bad in Jamaica, but when you come here, you come under the real fire. You know what I mean? It's easy, like I tell you, to lose your soul, because when you come here now, you think that these people are, you know, a lot of us are admiring England then, you know, it's like coming to the motherland, you know what I mean? But I've been living in England for 40 years, like I tell you. I'm not saying every Englishman is like this, and I'm talking about those higher. What they are good at is presentation. So, you know, you'll see them dressed very nice, just like you see them in the House of Parliament, you know. But like you all know, looks is deceiving. What is the point of you dressing up nice when inside you are rotten and dirty? So this is what human beings think, that they can make themselves fine by dressing up in fine clothes. You know, drinking what they call champagne and eating caviar, you know, and they feel that if they fly in first class and, you know, they have the best holiday, and, you know, and it's all here, it's to steal. Coming to England and America and these built up countries, if you want to witness the height of ego, stupidity, you need to come to places like this. You wouldn't be able to believe. Well, people from far away are still admiring. But like how I'm here now and I put it under a magnifying glass and have a close look, it's all based on corruption, vileness. You know, these people and about like the law and order. Like I keep telling them, the only law and order you have is what you yourself call anarchy. The laws that run these countries, England, Europe, are anarchy against the law of God. These are the very beings and souls who have rebelled against the law of God. And these are the very beings and souls that we are admiring. You know what I mean? And letting them lead in us. You know what I mean? But you shouldn't let no one believe. Well, I don't know about you, lad. You can let anyone lead you if you want. But no man ain't going to lead me. You know, understand? I will be leading myself. You know what I mean? Because I've studied these people carefully, the people on the planet Earth. Same one that we call human being. And I want you to understand one thing when I'm talking about human being. I know human being fully. So that means a human being cannot tell me about, oh, I'm a Jew, I'm an Arab, this. That are just names.